Okay, well, welcome back. And we just wanted to give a little snippet of some information since we're sitting here with Ruth Toledo Altschuler, who we have just had a wonderful conversation with on episode 50 of the Flower Essence podcast. And we wanted to do this little extra question for all those of you who might be wondering how to become a flower essence practitioner. We get this question a lot, and people are curious about, how they can even get started down this path if it's something that's been calling to them. And so, Ruth, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've actually been receiving a lot of inquiries lately on specifically this question. So it's very alive in me, and it depends very much on who the person is and where they are. But in general, um, one of the first steps that a person takes to become a flower essence practitioner is to take a flower essence practitioner training course. That's usually where the person begins. And there are several flower essence practitioner training courses. Oftentimes people take a training on the Bach flower essences because those are 38 flower essences that are available in many places. And so that's one of the options. There are many teachers out there, but there's also practitioner trainings like the FES practitioner training, which is the one that I teach, that embraces both the Bach flower essences as well as the essences researched by the Flower Essence Society, that include many of the well-known essences that we actually talk about. There's also the Alaskan Essences practitioner training, and maybe Flower Essence Studies will have a basic introductory training soon that you can actually kind of get your taste of it to begin with as well. So a practitioner training initially gives you an overview. It gives you some basis on the study of kind of a basic repertory of flower essences, but it also discusses a lot about what the process is like and how we begin and how we take the essences and how many consultations we will do and how long do we work with a client and how do we work with the client, et cetera, et cetera. And so a practitioner training gives you the basic information usually, and it's good to take it with a group of people that you connect with and that you can study together. Now usually that is only one of the pieces. The next piece is the actual certification process, that the person needs to actually apply the training that they've taken and do a certain number of case studies. And in the case of the FES practitioner training, there's also a plant study that the person needs to do. And there's also an archetype study that the person needs to do, and 3 case studies, usually with humans, but it can also be with animals. And that can be quite an involving work. The person really needs to write a paper and analyze the whole process and why each essence was given in each moment and for what, etc. And the trainer, the teacher, is going to analyze these cases, and then this person is going to eventually become certified as a flower essence practitioner. So a course can be an intensive course that you can take spread out over a period of a month, or it can be a course divided in modules. And the certification program is something that you will probably have a year after completing the course to do, with the possibility of asking for extensions, so you can take your time and do it within what is possible for you until you get it completed. And so it's, of course, as we know, and that is so true for every modality, then, practice really is what makes a person become a flower essence practitioner. But what's really wonderful about this path is that because flower essences are very safe and they don't contain physical components that are actually going to impact the physical body, and they contain only this information, these qualities that we receive through resonance, and that actually help us change our patterns of behavior, but there's no physical substance. So there's no danger of overdosing, toxicity, or anything like that. We are actually safe to begin experimenting with flower essences from the moment we become acquainted with them, with and for ourselves, not working with other people until we really learn more. But then have learning and doing our certification work, we can actually invite practicum clients to actually have this experience guided by us. And that's what's going to take us all the way into becoming certified flower essence practitioners. But the opportunity for practicing is open from the very beginning, which is great because it allows all of us to gain experience. And of course, we know that flower essences, as they were intended from the very beginning by Dr. Ba, they are meant to be free remedies that can be used as home remedies by anyone who wants to use them for themselves. Just like you do use a chamomile tea or a peppermint tea on your day-to-day. And there's also the professional that can help others by having that distance and that objectivity and that ability to encourage the person. And those are the ones who become practitioners and help others professionally through this modality.
Excellent description and explanation. I really appreciate how you are emphasizing the value of the certification work that's done after the training, because the training is one thing, and then the actual, putting it in action and then being, needing to do the studies. For me, that was it just exponentially increased my ability to practice well and to really get it, to be able to, actually have to do that work. It's incredibly valuable. And I think a lot of times people think, oh, I did the training and I don't need to do that. But in order to really become a practitioner and really be able to stand proud and say, this is what I do, it's really valuable to have that experience of doing the casework. And I love how you offer the support, because that's so valuable when you're out starting yourself. You really need that continuing support of the community, of your teacher, of your fellow students, to be able to dive deep into the work and really embody it in a way.
Yeah, and I have seen over the years so many people take a practitioner training and also consider that they're taking it for themselves, but actually not acting upon doing their certification work. And that's one of the reasons I find, and mostly because I can have the luxury to offer my time to do that, I find that it's really so good to offer encouragement so that people really feel inspired to actually do it and move through the process and have a place where they can bring their questions and be supported. So I've been offering this for free for the people who have taken the certification training. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for helping people understand where they can start and what options they have, and that you are a resource, and that you do teach for FES, for the FES practitioner training.
You're very welcome.